Greetings. Now in this video I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to actually dry out graveyard dirt that you may have collected and it's moist. That has been the issue today because I've needed some graveyard dirt, and the lady from my local botanica pointed me to the direction of the local cemetery. And when I went down there, well, firstly, if you're from the South or you know about New Orleans cemeteries are basically tombs. And so most of them are concrete. And to find a grave in the New Orleans area, I'm in the French Quarter, so to go to a cemetery there and to find actually a dirt grave, they're there, but they're not common. Maybe 99% of the graves are actually concrete, and you might find 1% that are actually dirt, and therefore every witch in town or every conjure worker could be down there trying to get the bit of dirt, right? So I went down to one that's a little bit further out of the main tourist route. I did my thing, you know, leaving the offering, calling in for permission and leaving my offering. But that's the different videos. You would have learned how to do that in the course. But no matter how you did it, doesn't matter. There's 1,000 ways to do it. Now I've got some dirt that I've collected from the grave, and it's a little bit wet, and wet dirt is also heavy. So how do you actually dry out this dirt ready for storage and ready for use whenever you need it? Okay, so what I do, I took down these little plastic baggies to collect the dirt in from the grave. I'm just going to put that in a pan, in a baking pan. And actually this tip was given to me by the lady at I won't say her name, but at the local botanica store, and she said this is probably the best way to do it, and I agree with her. Rather than leaving it out in the conditions where it's going to take a little bit more time to dry out, you're just going to put it in an oven at a low temperature for as long as it's possible to let it dry out. So I've just flattened it out in this baking dish here. I like to leave all the little stuff that I've collected off the dirt in the dirt. So here there's little rocks, there's little twigs. There was a lot of moss on top of you can see all the green moss. There was a lot of that on top of the grave too. And so that is seriously graveyard dirt. It's from the grave, and it has part of that spiritual energy in all of those organic materials in that earth. That's what we're really connecting to it. So now I'm just going to throw this in the oven. I'm going to leave it in there and probably leave it at least an hour or until it really feels dry enough that I can let that cool off, and then put in a jar and label it. Or some of this is going out to a client. So I hope that gives you a tip for how you can actually dry out graveyard dirt that you've collected yourself from the cemetery, rather than having a bunch of a whole plunk of wet dirt that you're wondering what to do with it and then end up throwing it out. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed that tip.